everybody? Hope y'all are doing well. My name is Cody. It's Monday morning, and typically what I like to do to start the day is pull and pack all the orders that came in on Saturday and Sunday. So that's exactly what we're going to do here. So let's just run through and show you a handful of items that I sold over the weekend. It'll give you a good sense of what I like to sell on eBay, as well as what people are actually buying this time of year. So I've been selling a ton of hats lately. A couple weeks ago, I made a pretty big buy of over 250 snapback hats, all vintage. And I've already made my money back off of a few of them. So first of all, this is a pretty cool one. This is a Camel Cigarettes racing hat from Ohio Grand Prix 1992. This is pretty cool. So this sold for 22 bucks. Not even in great condition, has some staining and stuff, yellowing. But yeah, these old vintage hats, they always do pretty well. So if the graphics are cool, condition's not always the most important thing. So yeah, 22 bucks. Another snapback from the big old lot of hats I purchased a couple weeks ago. This is the Fast Orange. I think this is like a cleaning product, not really sure, but navy blue, good condition, sold for $20 shipped. Another random snapback. This is DJ Snyder Trucking Company in Napoleon, Ohio. This sold for $9 shipped. So not making huge money on all of these, but they're gonna sell. So when it comes to vintage snapbacks, it doesn't really matter if it's Bob's Concrete Service or like a really cool vintage MLB baseball team hat. Like they're all gonna sell, of course, for varying amounts of money, but people just like the look of these hats. Of course, this only sold for $9, but keep in mind, this is all pure profit. So after shipping and stuff, I'm gonna make a couple bucks off this one, and I'm happy with that. Also sold this Cincinnati Reds 5950 New Era fitted hat. This thing is in amazing condition. It is a made in USA hat, so this is a vintage one. It's got the tag still on the top and the bottom here. I would almost call this new. I did list this as pre-owned just because there is a very minor amount of yellowing on the inside of the sweatband. It looks like it was maybe worn one time. So sold this for $30. I don't sell a lot of fitted hats unless they're in like really good condition. Minor league baseball team fitted hats tend to sell pretty well for me. But the reason I picked this one up and decided to sell it was just because it's in great condition and it is an older New Era hat. This is a made in USA one, so early 2000s would be my guess. I think I paid $5 for this at a thrift store literally a week ago. So a quick seller and for pretty good money. And we're at the end of baseball season. The Reds have definitely been eliminated. So yeah, happy to get this thing sold. And then last but not least, this is definitely a style of hat that you certainly want to look out for. It's this 3-stripe trucker style. So these 3 stripes on the side, typically with a mesh back, these things usually sell pretty well. So this is a Ryder trucking hat. It's in absolutely terrible condition. The bill's like all wavy. There's holes in it. There's like oil stains on this thing. Still sold for $35. Of course, if it's like a John Deere or some other reputable, well-known brand, they're going to sell better. But honestly, just the style alone is what sell these hats. So you call it a 3-stripe trucker in the listing and it's going to sell. So I took an offer for 35 bucks on this. And with the condition that it's in, I think that is more than fair. All right, so moving on to the shoe category. I sold a couple pairs of shoes this weekend. First off, you may recognize these if you watched the last video. This is a pair of Hey Dudes. So yeah, this is a pretty good brand. They don't go for like crazy money, but if they're in good shape, they're gonna sell super quick. I picked these up for $4.99 and they sold for $35 in a matter of days. I think it took 2 or 3 days. These are in really great shape, so definitely keep an eye out for the brand Hey Dude. They're like slip-on style shoes. They almost look like boat shoes. Yeah, very hot brand right now. A lot of people are wearing these, so if you see these for the right price, pick them up. They're gonna sell quick. Sold another pair of shoes. These are Eddie Bauer duck boots. Picked these up in June or July, and now that we're getting into the fall, colder weather, your boots are going to definitely start selling. So these sold for $39. Eddie Bauer is not the greatest brand of all time, but you know, they're kind of a middle of the road outdoor brand. I would put them kind of on par with Columbia, a lot of North Face stuff. So yeah, people do buy this brand, and for the price, I think it's a pretty good value. So these duck boots are in great shape, 39 bucks out the door. So now let's move into some clothing items. So when I first started reselling, I pretty much exclusively sold clothing. Nowadays, I sell pretty much anything and everything, but I still really enjoy selling clothes. So this is just a Harley-Davidson long sleeve shirt. It's got a really cool Scottsdale, Arizona graphic on the back with the bull skull. It's like a little pocket front with a small Harley-Davidson hit, and it's got the really cool Harley-Davidson spell out logo on both sleeves. So this sold for 30 bucks. It's not super old, it's from 2017. All Harley-Davidson stuff is gonna sell, of course, depending on what it is, that's gonna determine the price. If it's like an 80s or 90s vintage t-shirt, especially if it has a 3D emblem tag, they're gonna sell for great money. But Harley stuff always sells pretty well for me. So $30 for this, nothing really special about it. I guess it is kind of a unique color, but yeah, did not take long to sell at all. And while we're on the subject of Harley Davidson, I did sell another Harley garment. This is a women's like tank top. It's kind of cool. It's got this like lace-up style on the sides. Nothing too crazy about it. It is vintage, so it's from the year 2001. So since it's older than 20 years, it's considered vintage. This style of clothing has been selling really well for me lately. If you use the keywords vintage and Y2K in the listings, it's definitely going to increase your odds of selling it quickly. But yeah, if you see this Harley stuff, it doesn't have to be like super crazy or extreme or anything like that. But if you find it for a good price, pick it up. This sold for 25 bucks. So another cool piece of clothing that I sold over the weekend is a Carhartt button-up denim pearl snap long sleeve shirt. So this thing is high quality. It's a size large tall, which is a pretty desirable size. Great condition. Picked this up at a thrift store for 5 bucks and it sold for $55 in a matter of days. So Carhartt, always a pretty good brand to sell. I love selling their jackets, but they make some pretty good workwear. So this is a really nice thick shirt. Now that we're going into fall, this type of stuff is going to sell super quick. So $5 into $55, we'll take that all day long. And for the final sale that I think I'll share with you, it's a pretty cool one. This is a lot of vintage Mighty Max figures. Let's pull a few of these out so you can see them. So I picked up a lot of vintage toys over the summer. Lots of Power Rangers. I got a ton of Sega games and a lot of Mighty Max stuff. I've made definitely hundreds of dollars off of that buy. And this is kind of just like what's left over. These are all just miscellaneous little figures. There's a bunch of incomplete parts and stuff that I sold in this lot. Sold it for $60, but they're pretty cool. They're like these little Polly Pocket type little playset things. I don't know exactly what you call them, but you can like pop them open. There's like a little playset inside. So I sold a lot of those for pretty good money. So yeah, definitely keep an eye out for vintage toys. I'm certainly not an expert in this category, but I'm definitely trying to learn. There's always collectors out there, people that are trying to recreate their childhood by buying back all their nostalgic favorite toys from when they were a kid. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers, Mighty Max, He-Man, all that good stuff, they're gonna sell. So if you find them, pick them up. So moving forward, I definitely plan on putting out more of these what sold videos. Of course, the picking is the fun part, the thrifting, yard sailing, sourcing, however you like to do it. That's what everybody enjoys, but the selling is what gets us through. So I like documenting it. I think it's kind of fun to rehash things that are selling for me. Hopefully you learned a little something. I'd like to know what you guys like selling as well. So if you have any cool, unique sales, feel free to leave them down in the comments below. I always like to see what other people are selling these days. So that's it for this one, everybody. Appreciate you watching. We'll catch you on the next one. See ya.